That's my opinion.
Yeah, because it's obviously a bigger span, but and hell, in here, I know there's a difference between Bronze 5 and Bronze 1,
But if
but
it's Bronze 5 with 6 games and Bronze 1 with 3 games,
yeah,
someone could get lucky, someone could get unlucky. Don't know.
yeah, the actual skills up to question in that span. So, guys, we are back with Bronze Boot Camp Game 3. Still got a lot of people with me. My name is Haberdashing, and I am joined by Horse Doctor, Crazy Phil, and Darkner, all here to give you insight about the game. If you don't know, Bronze Boot Camp is a game mode designed by the Trinity podcast network to help you improve on your game. If you're wondering, you feel like you just can't improve and you want someone else to come look at your game, we're going to do that for you right now. You go and play the game, we watch and comment, so you can come back and watch what we say to help you get some pointers so you can move forward. If you are or you don't know what the Trinity network is, it is a network of podcasts for right now around League of Legends, just about anything for competitive, the LCS, just game theory, or just helping you to learn more about the game. We're going to be there for you with 4 different podcasts there. So if you want to check them out, go to www.trinityforcepodcast.com, and you can find a whole host of information about the podcast and stuff. Also there is a sign-up list for Bronze Boot Camp that we have available every week, so you can come in and you're guaranteed to come and have a game for you here. So let's talk a little bit about picks and bans going on right now. Sorry.
Katarina's a good ban, but Bonk, Master Yi, and Zed are kind of awkward.
Okay.
I will say that they're picking really good bans in terms of 1, lower elo play, and 2, solo queue.
Not LeBlanc, man. I'm a really, really good mid player. I've been playing LeBlanc for quite some time, but she is so hard. She's so hard.
There's this what Johnny ban.
The Sejuani ban I agree with, and we saw in the past 2 games, like even when she was behind, you have the ability to make that.
Like I said, personally, I feel like all these for a type of solo queue feeling that like they're really good bans, especially Master Yi. Like even though I personally think that he's not a good champion, like in solo queue, people are just like, okay, let's not CC the Master Yi, and then everyone dies.
Yep.
I like them all besides LeBlanc. I'm not the biggest fan of his Zed, but LeBlanc's like low win rate, hard to play, really hard for you to CS on unless you're like a really good player. She's just not a bronze ban in my eyes.
Okay.
I hate to say a champ is too hard for an elo, but I think LeBlanc's like one of the hardest champs in the game.
That's fair enough. I think, just learning to, because people just want to have that one combo with your ulti, but you really have to open up to be able to use any one of them in the right situation.
I agree, but I will say, I don't personally think LeBlanc's one of the hardest. I would say that she used to be. Now she's a little bit easier, just because the fact that your ultimate scales independently now. She's overall though, she's just a really strong pick, and especially in lower elo, she can just decimate a game, kind of like Zed.
I played her pre and post. I think she's harder post because all of her spells are useful now. Before like the rework, it was
max her Q, yeah.
Yeah, you always max Q, and 2 you could do the same combo every time, same combo, one shot. Now you can combo Q, you can combo W. Sometimes you need to 2 chains, like
2 chains. All right.
It's just
wait, okay.
It's like artistry.
Yeah.
It's like a painting. You can do so much with her.
But regardless, we're not going to be seeing her in this game here. We do have the Rek'Sai being locked in along with Trundle and Cloud Fan Lady.
Good picks on both teams. Strong champ.
Yeah, I agree.
Janna. Yeah.
Xerath is probably in trouble if the blue side gets ahead. he's really in trouble unless he has some real good peel.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I mean, like,
more good.
they do have LeBlanc and Zed, probably the more mobile assassins, but there's still plenty out there that can really ruin a Xerath day.
Yeah, especially when you pick them so early.
I've been spamming Xerath. I think he's like broken beyond belief.
Yeah, I mean, because well, he's just so good with anti-sieging.
Yeah, I think he's just.
But yeah,
strong.
Yeah, he is strong.
Okay, what do you guys think on the jungle monkey?
I don't like it.
Jungle monkey's pretty good.
It could be either top or jungle.
Like Wukong, or to a lesser extent Warwick, because he's even worse, or Master Yi. You're basically like rolling a dice and hoping that your lanes don't lose too hard to like a Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai's pre-6 is really good. But like, if your lanes don't get rocked too hard, Wukong can be a good pick. He just takes a bit to ramp.
Yeah, I mean, he's like
really
in that
scary.
same camp as like Malphite or Mumu, where it is sort of like a one trick with his ultimate.
Mumu has good ganks early with Q.
Yeah, no, but like as the team fights go on, it's all about that ultimate.
Yeah, I'm talking like early game pressure. Wukong doesn't have much.
No.
The one thing I will say though is that Wukong's really. I don't know about now that they nerfed the jungle camps, but before the nerfs, his clear was horrible. His ganking wasn't amazing. He was just really rough to play in the jungle.
Early in the jungle, I like that. I think Aurelia is broken.
Please play Aurelia.
Aurelia is so good.
I love her.
I mean, that being said, like, how do you play Aurelia in this matchup?
I don't know.
Because it's one thing to say that she's OP, but you know, if you don't know how to play her, then it's.
What do you think, W or E, Phil? You play Aurelia.
I personally prefer W versus the Trundle matchup.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but I don't want to sound like an ass because I don't play Aurelia.
Because one-on-one Trundle will be able to outtrade Aurelia until she gets her Trinity Force. But if she can wait off the ultimate from Trundle, then Aurelia will win the all-in after that. It's more of a sustained matchup Aurelia is going to have to do versus Trundle versus the all-in. Overall.
Yeah, that's why the W is strong.
I don't know who'd win at this point since they buffed his passive. Because I would say now the sustain's more or less on equal footing.
Probably more on Trundle's side, honestly.
Yeah. I like the Ashe pick. Ashe Janna's. I'm a big Ashe player and a big Janna player, and that's one of my favorite lanes. Ashe also has one of the highest win rates in solo queue, and she's pretty strong. Like I see so much like low community, like Ashe is noob champ, Ashe is bad. LOL, you're playing tutorial champ. Like Ashe is good, guys.
Yeah, the one thing you do need to take into account with Ashe is that if anyone has a gap closer, you really have to play a little bit farther back and like watch your positioning in team fights, because yeah, you can chase people down and you can slow them, but you know, you have a Leona, you have a Wukong, you have a Aurelia on the other team. They're going to be diving right onto you.
You really need to be careful in lane too. Anytime you play no escape AD carry and you lane against Leona, the way you play lane, if your flash is down, is very different than how you play it with flashes up. Like if you are not smart with where you stand on Ashe and you're flashless, and Leona like Zenith or like flash stun Zenith you, or like Zenith ults you, it can be really bad. You also have Janna though. Janna hard counters Leona.
Yeah, it's a really good pickup for this lane, I think.
It's tricky though. Sometimes she doesn't. If you're a good Janna player and you can Q her out of Lance, like it's an ultimate stomp. But if you're not, I don't know, versed.
I mean, but even if, like, let's take level 6 here. Once Janna hits level 6, you have that disengage to be able to knock off the Leona and then reset the fight with the Ashe Arrow.
Ashe Arrow is really good too. Xerath is, I play him a lot, and he's strong when people let you do what you want. In a team fight, it depends if you hit your spells or not. But he's not as good in team fights as he is in Siege or anti-Siege.
He's more like, yeah, his role before a team fight is more akin to like Nidalee, where you need to land some poke before your team can follow up.
But just being able to like Ashe Arrow, then like Rek'Sai and Trundle can really mess up Xerath's day.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They can engage whenever they want.
Okay. Yeah, Rek'Sai really is they made the enemy team have to we look at
You're a
blue side.
robot.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
cutting in a little, cutting out.
I don't like heal on Xerath. I take heal sometimes, but if you're playing somebody like Ari, where you know they're gonna have Ignite, you take Barrier.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Or
generally.
Exhaust wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
If you think Bruisers are gonna dive you, Exhaust is okay, and like I take Exhaust on Xerath and TF sometimes. I think a Trundle's gonna YOLO on top of me. Exhaust is good. Does more effective reduction than Barrier or heal would.
Yeah. So quick lane rundown here. Top lane we already mentioned, so we're gonna go to mid lane then. Xerath versus Ari. What do either lanes need to do to make this win in their favor?
Xerath needs to farm and be smart if he ever loses flash. Ari needs to all in at 6 and call jungler. I hate to say that, but sometimes if you call jungler, like, because if you call jungler, you blow flash and or kill him, and if you do either of those two things, like Xerath's in a bad spot against Ari.
Oh yeah.
Okay, is that better, or am I still roboty?
You're good now.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So what was the point you were trying to make?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay. The fact that when we look at blue side, they basically have 2 priority targets. It's Ashe or Ari. Mostly Ashe, because Ashe, as soon as someone jumps on her, she's gonna die if she doesn't get peeled for immediately.
Yeah.
While we look at red side, they have Wukong, Aurelia. Aurelia can just hop onto a minion, then immediately hop onto be quiet. And then
She'll fuck up your day.
yeah, she'll get right in the middle of your team. Wukong just knocks everyone up. Leona stuns right at the center, and then you have Xerath with the siege.
You guys see the support Aurelia game in OGN?
No, I didn't know that was a
heard
thing.
about it.
You know why it works? They
Please
rush
tell me.
face to the mountain, so you can Q a ranged creep whenever you want to, and engage from really far away with E. You gotta rush face to the mountain though.
Okay.
Tricky.
I will have to try it
I
out.
thought that was really cool. That's like next level.
All right, so we are in game now. Let me get everyone organized.
Bottom lane, I'll touch on it quickly.
Sure.
Ashe and Janna need to ward well and just trade. Janna's the queen of trades. If they all in, they can run into trouble just because their damage output's quite a bit lower. Or if they get ganked. But if they just trade and trade and trade and trade, they probably won't kill them, but they'll come out like with a CS lead. But if they fight or get ganked, it's kind of
Yeah, I feel a lot of this lane's going to be on Janna.
Yeah, I don't like starting coin or mana pots. I think she should have Fang. Janna's autos are really strong in lane. You can always sell it too. I usually get the 365 one and then just sell it.
Yeah, I mean, you have enough mobility. The Frost Queen's claim isn't necessarily that efficient.
It's like your W.
Well, when you look at Janna and what she's running, she's seemingly running basically a mage page. So her auto, she most likely isn't running hybrid pen, so her autos wouldn't be doing much at all.
Yeah, don't run mage pitch in Janna, please. Janna, you're always useful late game. You don't need to be a mage. You can be no items to be useful. But if you die, you're not.
Well, that being said, there's a reason people want to get Soul Stealer on her.
Because there's not like other items you really need on her. It's kind of like 1400 YOLO.
Yeah, but I mean, it also does very well for your shield.
Yeah, it's just you don't need the AP to be useful. You need to stay alive to be useful. 2 shields is better than 1 big shield and dying and giving them gold.
Yeah, so if you're wondering how you can get into Bronze Bootcamp, we have a sign-up sheet if you go to www.trinityforcepodcast.com. That goes up the day after Bronze Bootcamp here, so tomorrow on Sunday, and that'll be running all the way up till next Saturday. You just put in your name, put what game you want to play, and we'll try to get you in if you sign up.
What do you think about top Phil? I think they should both have Thorns.
You should go Dorns if you're planning on doing a camp level 1. But apart from that, I think a flask and 3 pots would be a lot better for Aurelia.
Yeah, I was thinking Dorns or Flask.
Because there's two trains of thoughts up top lane for Aurelia. You either try to kill Trundle early on, or you just farm up until you have Trinity Force.
Flash is good for both of those.
Yeah. And from this item from Aurelia, she really needs to kill Trundle early on to make
Yeah, that's
use
a
of the
really
Doran's
aggressive
Blade.
start.
Longsword's like what I take on Rengar when I first blood people. If it's gonna be farm lane, I don't take Longsword.
So why exactly would you take Longsword versus Doran's Blade to be aggressive?
Because it lets you take bad trades and just chug pots, and then 2 first and all in them.
Yeah. It also lets you, when you first go back, rush into that upgraded item versus, Doran's Blade. You have to spend that extra 400 or 360 gold to get that upgrade.
Rengar is also kind of just about cheesing. Janna, you want to take Q double level 2, because Leona has her combo at level 2, and if you don't have Q to disengage that, that's not good.
Usually I think you take Q first level 1 on Janna.
You can take E to trade.
Yeah.
But if you don't take Q at level 1, I mean, that's a preference thing. What's not preference is you need to have Q at level 2. It needs to be one of your skills.
Okay. So Rek'Sai already going back to get upgrade. Wukong doing the same, both getting Stalkers. It is Stalkers, right? Yeah, Stalkers.
I will say on Wukong, I would say Ranger's probably the safer pick.
Yep.
Especially with how lane dominant Xerath and their bot lane is gonna be. So his only real opportunity would be the Trundle, but even then Trundle is innately tanky. So especially with how Wukong's clears are already rough, a Trailblazer would have done him way better. But only time will tell.
So on that gank there, should Trundle have, Rek'Sai tried to burn Flash to get the pop-up?
No.
Yeah, it's just too low. You also
Okay.
have to respect the damage that your bot lane can give you. And Ashe and Janna can give you a lot of CC, but they can't give you damage if people are half health.
Yeah.
Or as much.
Okay. Trundle, you have to be careful how much mana you're expending just to, stay in lane here.
Same with Aurelia.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm sure this is common sense to Phil, but don't randomly queue creeps when you can auto them.
Yeah, you generally want to queue to creeps if the creeps are under your turret. But
That's canon.
apart from that, you shouldn't.
That was good gank assist.
I will say that Wukong came in at a really wide angle.
Yeah, he did.
If he would have just cut around the cliffside, it would have been a way easier gank. And it's hard to tell if he would have actually killed Trundle with that.
He should have saved his dash. He already had good gank assist from the stun. He could have just walked up to her and started hitting her. And then when Trundle flashed or pillared, Wukong could just flash and use his gap closer and kill him. You don't need to use your gap closer if you don't have to. Just save it for the flash if you're top lane early.
I will say Janna's missing all her tornadoes, and Janna, if situations like that happen where Leona's already on top of your AD carry, you want to save your charge up your tornado and hit their AD carry with it to lessen the trade.
Also, don't tornado to harass. If you tornado to harass and Leona has combo up, your AD carry can't farm.
There's almost never a situation to use the tornado to harass or shove the lane.
The only time tornado is a legitimate use of tornado is, other than to peel, it's if your AD carry is on page with you and they trade right as the enemy's being knocked up.
You have to think the lane conditionally, and in some lanes that would be good, but this lane it's kind of a flow chart of, does Leona have Lance? I need to have Tornado. Does Leona not have Lance, and are they on similar cooldown? Maybe I can use it to harass. It's a very linear flow chart.
Yeah, it's a lot of mana burn just to queue to minions from Aurelia.
Trundle's playing really passively when he doesn't need to be.
Yeah, if you take Cloth 5, it's kind of like Longsword, but even more. I need to go ham. Or I'm Nasus and I don't want to die.
He just missed out on a few CS, mostly because he was playing it really back for some strange reason. Even though they're both at full health, Aurelia's not gonna 100 to 0 you. Not yet, at least.
Sarah needs to practice this.
Okay. So Rek'Sai came back down bottom again for a gank. Managed to blow Flash from Leona. But once again, I think he was just way too far ahead of his AD carry and support to really make it effective.
I'll say the big thing. Ooh, is he gonna die?
Please.
Alright, the big thing from Jinx I'd point out is when you're winning lane, you need to actually win lane. And like, if from a spectator, if I couldn't see the scoreboard, I would think that Jinx is absolutely destroying this lane. When I look at CS, she's not. And when they recall, it's reset again. Like,
yeah, because they'll both be able to get BF.
Keep CS up, so you actually have something to show, like your trophy for winning lane.
Yeah, and that does come a lot from the support. You know, maybe as you don't have to be going ham and just try to get a kill. But if you're able to shove Ashe off of the CS by just playing forward a little bit, that can change the lane more than just a trade would.
If Johnny uses Q to harass, just like stand in between the caster and the melee creeps as Leona, and don't even lance, because when you miss lance, ask and farm again.
Yeah,
just stand there and be like, yo, Ashe, if you try and farm, I'm gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
The other thing is that a Leona Jinx combo lane is actually really strong combined with Jinx Rocket, because people really love to underestimate the passive damage from Leona.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage. It's disgusting.
At rank 1, it's 20, and it scales up per level.
Yeah, I always tell people they need flat MR blues if they play Leona lane.
Like right now, the biggest problem is that Jinx isn't really doing her Pow Pow and then switching to Fishbones to trade autos. It's a really easy trade, especially against an Ashe. But they're playing a farm lane when it shouldn't be a farm lane, bot lane.
Brothers there spotting them both.
And the
Nice
top lane.
flash.
Yeah, that was a good first blood.
That is very good.
Yeah, Wukong realizing that Trundle ult is down and he wasted all of his spells on Aurelia. Just really good observation from Wukong there.
Yep. Ashe is totally dead. Yep. That's just, yeah. Janna, you wanted to go ward there, but you weren't in a position that was going to work out. In order to be warding that deep, you need to have control of the lane. At this point, from where Jinx is shoving up the lane, you're fine with just that ward in the tri brush and one in the lane brush. Because you're not going to get to a position where you are right now where someone's going to be coming out of the river and you need to worry about that.
Don't buy 2 wards and 4 potions on an AD carry when you support a Sightstone. I love warding as much as the next guy, but
yeah, it's a trade-off. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, right now they're not in a position to ward in a sense where Janna has a Sightstone. When all they're really going to be warding is a lane brush maybe, and then try and maybe Riv. But they're not pushing out farther than maybe about where Janna is right now. They're not pushing beyond their turret range at this point. So there's no real necessity for that extra vision control.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, usually as an AD carry, if you're on your first back, you can maybe pick up a pink ward. Especially when you're blue side and just throw that in tri-brush. But yeah, you want to be saving the gold that you can early game to try to get an advantage in lane. But yeah, I love that you want to be warding.
I will say this to Trundle. When you chomp on the Aurelia, you want to try to stick to her and force a trade. Because you've already taken that AD. You don't want to kind of run away, let that go to waste, and then re-engage on it.
Oh, Phil! You got it. Okay. So let's talk about what happened there.
When you're playing support and it's gonna be a close 3v3 or 4v4 or whatever it was. I think it was like a 3v4 or a 2v3 because they were man down with that Ashe. Don't use exhaust to chase, please. It's a reactive spell to deal damage and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in Janna when you have E and W and Q and stuff.
Exhaust is only really good to chase late game, and even then it's suboptimal.
Yeah, when you're playing Janna, you have other things.
Yeah, it's great. It's great when death timers are really long, and if your team is going to converge on that. But if not, you're Janna. You're not going to do damage. You're beating everyone with a wiffle ball bat.
I think Trundle should go Sunfire. I think Trundle should have gone Orc or Frozen Heart.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not the biggest Sunfire. Sunfire, the stats are just kind of crappy. Aurelia can duel you anyway, especially after you already gave up a kill. Sunfire's not going to stop her.
Yeah. Or even maybe a Randuin's.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's good because Trundle's kind of mana hungry sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. But with the team composition that red team has, he may have to be more working as peel instead of diving. So that's where the Randuins come in more handy. But I agree. Sunfire's probably the least effective as far as armor.
You're peeling. You'd be peeling Aurelia and Wukong and possibly Leona. The heart is useful on 2 of those 3 targets.
Yeah.
I will say though, red side has great warding. They've got great control on both sides of the map. Even if it's just one or 2 wards in their jungle, in the enemy jungle.
They punish Rek'Sai really hard anytime he tries to gank. AoE damage takes Aurelius hits better. Sunfire doesn't take Aurelius hits better than Frozen Heart. And the AoE damage is kind of useless.
Was Ashe using her Q a lot?
She's pretty low on mana.
Yeah,
I think I saw her using it some.
Normally, like if you're just using your volley, you shouldn't be running out of mana in lane.
Depends how much you volley and what runes you run.
I will say that this is where you kind of start being able to see like Xerath's lane dominance. Because he can just poke out an Ahri, especially an inexperienced Ahri, just with the skews, and there's very, very minimal ability to trade on her part, unless she decides to all in him.
Okay, so in this point, because obviously it seems that mid lane is going to Xerath, what can Ahri be doing for her team?
Honestly, it's Ahri's best chance that she should have been doing a while ago is roaming bot. They've just been so aggressive. And yes, they've been warding decently, but there have been opportunities for her just to go down there and clean house.
No, I agree.
And honestly, if you want to carry on mid until like bot lane's how you do it. Shove and go bot, or call your jungler and ult and kill Xerath.
This is gonna be interesting.
And the collapse goes on him.
Air. It hits Xerath, but yeah, not going to do anything. So they did force the jungler off. What is their opportunity? Can they still take a dragon off of this?
It'll be the best fight that they get.
Yeah, they really can, but whether they're going to or not...
It looks like they are here, but they got everyone else collapsing because they still have that ward in the pit.
Trundle, back off, get ready for the TP.
At this point... Janna should have...
Oh, they got it.
At that point, Janna should have ulted the Wukong away when she saw the dragon was getting low.
Okay. So, let's talk about that a little bit. I think blue team should have been starting that as soon as Wukong was backing out. They waited for a good another 20-30 seconds to do that, and that gave them the time to sort of regroup and come back at them. I think, yeah, that would have been good. Usually as a support in a dragon fight, you want to be off to the side zoning for your team, because you're not going to be the one contributing damage to a dragon kill. So it's best to stand on the outside, especially as Janna, to try to make sure that the enemy team can't get in to take it.
And if you're in a position where you're gonna get dragon, as a jungler, you want to have sweeper, or you at least want to carry a pink ward with you. Like I get it that at that point dragon was a target of opportunity, but you should always keep that in mind where when I'm gonna have this opportunity, I'm gonna need a pink ward. Especially with the amount of like control in terms of warding that bot lane is showing, people really should be getting sweepers at this point. And then Trundle top lane should really stop trying to trade the Aurelia that's already really far ahead of him.
Yeah.
No, he's doing a good job right now. He realized that he can't do anything else top lane, so he's right now with his teammates trying to look for picks at the moment.
Yeah, I know that. I know that right now, but I'm referring to when they were taking the dragon.
It took him a while to figure that out. He was still trying to dive tower. Yeah.
If you take a minute to just look at the map, though, like really appreciate red team's vision here.
Yep.
And blue team's inventory, one sweeper, no pinks, no greens. Like, they're not going to come back unless something changes on the vision front.
Or...
Oh.
The wards are too good to sell it.
Okay. So now they've committed forward to bottom side, and they gotta just try to...
They have to take something, or because they're gonna get punished other places on the map.
Yeah.
I'll pretend this game is closer just for the sake of having something to talk about.
Okay.
When you're playing against an Ahri, if like Ahri's got items, or if she can potentially kill somebody, which she may still be able to do if her ignite is up, warding is really important. And Ahri's really shut down from the fact that anywhere she goes, she's gonna get pinged out. But this is what they need to do.
And right there, where Ahri used all her ultimate charges to catch up to Xerath, that's not great, because at that point you really have no follow-up, especially with how low on mana she is. It just wasn't a smart decision. She just blew her ult for basically nothing.
She should have held charm. For either when Xerath tried to turn around and cast a spell back at her, or for Xerath flash. But it was kind of an awkward time to charm.
And another thing, Rek'Sai should really be smiting his wolf camp. Like, as strange as it sounds, because most people will tell you that that's horrible to smite, in a situation where you're constantly getting counter jungled, you need to have that vision. And when you don't have a sightstone or anyone else is like isn't warding, you really need to be able to see where the enemy jungler is if he is in your jungle.
So I tell people mid game, if you're winning, smite raptors. If you're losing, smite raptors and wolves. Because you need to clear wards, but the wolf can help.
Yeah, that was just bad pathing from
it's
Rek'Sai.
It's wards. Look at the wards, though. They didn't.
Yeah, they've got, what, 2 wards on the map right now?
Yeah.
I mean, first you just focus on your own jungle, get that ward up, and then you can try to push out from there. But it's not only support, everyone needs to be trying to get some wards down.
This is something I see, like even Platinum play, where people make the mistake, is that the only time you want to be warding the enemy jungle is if it's a close game and you're in a position where both of you are vying for that one pick that will change the outcome of that late game. But
there's certain champions you need to ward out.
Yeah.
No matter what the game is, if you're playing Rengar, you need to ward his jungle, not yours.
Yeah, but in a situation like right now, where it's a completely one-sided situation, they really need to be vying for their own jungle control before they're trying to contest theirs.
Yeah, in this game, there's no reason to ward the other jungle. There's any champion that's gonna hide,
Shaco,
Evelyn, Rengar, you want to ward their jungle, not yours. Like against Evelyn, you ward her raid camps and stuff like that.
I would say the same with Shaco, because it gives you the knowledge of like what general area he's in and where he's most likely going to come in.
Everyone has to unstealth to kill camp.
Okay, so let's see. There's 30 seconds now till next dragon.
Blue team needs to get vision and try.
Okay.
This is like their last shot to come back, otherwise the gold lead's gonna get worse.
They're trying to force a fight now, but
they can't do it under turret.
Yeah, and in general they really can't do it with.
Yeah.
how ahead.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Red team had vision of Ash bottom. That was like suicide. Red team knew to take the fight too. They're like, yo, Ash is bot.
Yeah, that was a really
RP
poor choice.
Even with Ash there, I don't feel it would have made much of a difference. They're just too far ahead.
No, but they shouldn't have been trying to engage them in the
Yeah.
first place.
It's one thing if Ash is Mia and she's in the jungle. When Ash is like on top of a creep, like creeps are walking wards that spawn every 30 seconds. Anytime you show yourself on a creep, the other team can see you.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys think that Ash should have backed right there? Or she should have kept pushing that bot lane?
Shish back.
Because do you really think that she's going to stop anything right here?
No, but she's not going to be able to get the tower.
Yeah.
And she is able to do some stuff here.
They committed too hard right there.
Yeah.
I think her backing stops them from ending. But I think her staying meant trade, so it's hard to know.
Yeah, it's you bring up a good point where you have to, cut your losses and you say, you know what, there's nothing I can do about them taking this turret on the other side. But what I can do is, take this inner turret up here. I don't think that was one of those scenarios because she was still pushing up to the turret, and by the time she would have gotten there and then tried to get through it, they could have possibly had the potential to either get back to her or end the game.
Depending on who it is, sometimes people like to... I don't know why, but there are teams where they push up, take that inhibitor, and they just back out. They don't try. So in a situation like that, I don't know exactly whether Red was going to try to push for the rest of the other inner turrets. It seemed like Aurelia and Leona wanted to, but everyone else was getting ready just to get out of there.
There's this line I used to talk about. It's past the inhibitor once you take it. I call it the free throw line because it's free throws. And in solo queue, even in my experience, like up to D1, once people take an inhibitor, if they start walking forward, like you want to be there because they're like gonna kill themselves a lot. It's the free throw line.
I get it. That's pretty good.
And the way that Trundle just zoned out, Trundle and Rek'Sai zoned out to Wukong and Aurelia from the Ahri, that was beautiful.
Oh, poor Ash. Don't walk in the jumpers, rip.
Oh.
They had a good initial engage.
Yeah, Leona wasn't there.
I would have liked to see Mikhail's on Janna instead of Talisman. They have too much stuff to cleanse with Mikhail's.
Yeah.
The problem with it's not just the fact that she went Talisman of Ascension. She's not using it properly. She's trying to use it as an engage tool when they're behind, when really it should be used as something to keep other people alive, like the Ahri or the Ashe. She also needs to stop kind of getting in the front line. She's just getting blown up.
Yeah.
Talisman's a tricky item to get when you're behind because there's no health, and what can happen is what happened to John in that fight, where you just get like insta-give. It's very scary item.
Is she going Righteous Glory?
Yeah, it looks like
it looks. Yeah, Mikhail's would have been the better option. Mobies. Oh my god. Oh yeah, she doesn't have Mobies yet.
Both supports, man. Your support core items are GP10, Sightstone, Mobies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mobies are often picked up sometimes like right after. You should get those really in the early game.
As Strangers found on Janna, I don't always get Mobies, mostly because of the whole reduce. You basically get reduced returns on it, since your base movement's already so high with your W passive.
It gives you 105 extra. So
isn't it reduced from the...
It's not percent based. You get reduced maybe because of your passive, but it's still not up to that point.
Speed. I remember reading about this once, but I would say it's probably like 90 instead of 105.
Yeah, you're not to that point where you're losing a whole lot. Like your base movement speed with the Mobies, I think, is still like 490, 495 maybe. As Janna.
I'll check it out later.
I remember reading about it. I think Darkness right. I just don't think it's that big a deal.
So just like with the Janna ultimate and stuff, Ash, you need to try to be saving your ultimate for disengage, not engage.
Yeah.
Because like the past 2 fights has just been okay. Ash arrows out. Now we can just go in.
And Janna ran into a really difficult predicament right there, where she had to choose between using her ultimate later on to save others, or save the one person that got caught out right there, or was getting focused in that fight. And she chose a really bad time to use it, because as soon as she used it, Wukong just re-engaged.
Yeah.
There's a Janna mechanic that I think most Jannas should learn, because I really don't see it. And you charge Tornado and then ult, or you ult and Tornado, but you need to be able to clip your ult and Tornado very close to each other so you can see someone CC. You peel everyone with the ult, but you can CC one target for a very long time.
Okay. Any other final thoughts about this game?
Blue side just really needs to like get a grip on like warding control, especially their support.
All right, so guys, this has been Bronze Boot Camp here for this morning. If you're interested in playing for next week, head on over to www.trinityforcepodcast.com. You can sign up for Bronze Boot Camp via the main page there, and if you sign up, we'll make sure to get you in for next week. Thanks for watching, guys. VODs will be posted by later this afternoon, so have a good day.